We have an expert, Paul Niland, businessman, a journalist, founder of Lifeline Ukraine, is with us tonight. Glad to have you with us, Mr. Niland.
Thank you very much for inviting me back on the show. I just wish that we had happier things to discuss.
Right, indeed. Well, okay, well, then is the question right from my heart. Who would you vote for if living in the United States?
Well, not the convicted felon, not the guy who has to pay a fortune in damages to somebody for having defamed and sexually assaulted her, not the guy that owes hundreds of millions of dollars in business fines related to decades of malpractice. And I mean, he's a career criminal. That's what he is. No, he would not have been the person that I voted for. But you know what? The American people did, and they did it overwhelmingly so. Right? This is not a slim, just over the line electoral college victory as it was the last time. This is a blowout in the electoral college. This is the popular vote by 5 million votes. That's what's happened, and we have to face facts. As you know, as the Ukrainian expression goes, "Маємо те, що маємо." We have what we have. It is what it is, right? And now we have to see how it is going to unfold and see what that is going to mean, not only for the essential military aid and other support that Ukraine needs, but in general, what this bull in a china shop is going to be like on the global stage. And you know, we've seen it. We've had round one of Trump. Now he's older. His mental faculties have certainly diminished greater, but he's no less of an unpredictable and self-centered and transactional politician than he was, and he's dangerous. The people who he has around him are dangerous.
Well, you know, a bull in a china shop. It's amazing that you said that, because Xi Jinping was actually the first one to congratulate Trump on that. But some people are celebrating here in Ukraine. Can you imagine? And they have their reasons. Do you want to know these reasons? I can tell you. They say, all right, well, Biden and Democrats only ceding grounds, any grounds, political, economical, and even Ukrainian grounds. So maybe Trump will do otherwise. What do you think of that?
I know that people here in Ukraine are more than frustrated, beyond frustrated. We've been fighting the full-scale invasion for almost 3 years now, and you know, the slow drip of military assistance in particular that led us to having shell droughts and all kinds of ammunition problems in the middle of last year. That was perceived to be the fault of Biden. For the common phrase was doing enough so that Ukraine doesn't lose, but not providing enough so that Ukraine can actually win. That's a very, very common line of thinking here. In my research of what military experts are saying, that there's a limitation on the volume of equipment, on the volume of ammunition that Ukraine can logistically receive and then transfer. And so they were making other kinds of excuses for why that was happening as well. But the idea, the hope that Trump might do something different, I can see why people are trying to be positive about that, but we're just not going to know. We've until we see how things unfold. But we have seen, for example, Vance's statement on CNN State of the Union address. I wrote an article breaking it down, paragraph by paragraph, dismissing it of why it was false. But you know, he essentially voiced the plan to end the war in Ukraine, which is a demarcation of the current contact lines. You know, there's going to be all kinds of demands for concessions on Ukraine, but Ukraine gets a vote in whether we go there or not. We will only find out in the coming weeks and months.
Indeed. All right. Well, another more or less personal question. I know you're living in Ukraine as well as me. You know all the ways and ins and outs of living here. But what do you think of Mike Pompeo, actually? if he will be nominated, and he will be Secretary of Defense, isn't it? Is that the role that he's maybe taking? Do you think this is good for Ukraine or bad?
I don't know what Mike Pompeo's specific opinions are with regard to
Right.
Ukraine. I do know that what the Trump team is going to need is people with experience in government, and that is one of the things that Pompeo will bring to this. We've talked previously, and the other astonishing thing about this Trump victory is that there are so many of his former administration members, his cabinet officials, specifically those in security positions, who have warned of the dangers of Trump and said that they would never work for him again. But Mike Pompeo is one who appears to be willing to go back into the Trump fold and hopefully see if he can have some kind of stabilizing and grown up influence there. Specifically with regard to Ukraine, I don't know, but I think that's the wider role that he might play should he be selected to go into the administration of Trump 2.0.
Indeed, indeed. Let me return to that call. Chinese president called Trump first, and do you believe this is a signal of sorts, or just a coincidence?
It is a signal, and I think that again, because this is the return of Trump, people have worked him out. People have worked out how they need to communicate with him, how they need to play him and flatter him on the one hand, and then threaten him on the other hand as well. So yes, Xi Jinping is one of the people who would be particularly good. I mean, in terms of world leaders, particularly good at manipulating their counterparts. Obviously, it's one of Vladimir Putin's fortes as well, and we believe that there have been back-channel, third-party interactions communicating between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump as president-elect. And there will be manipulation going on there as well. The Saudis are going to be looking at how they can. Everybody is going to be looking at how they can manipulate Donald Trump now.
Well, I would love to have a chance to manipulate Donald Trump just as well. If I would need an advice, I would certainly would love to have you as an expert. Thank you so very much for talking to us tonight.
It's always a pleasure, and I'd be happy to come back again sometime in the future.
Exactly. We'll do that. Thank you so very much. Was Paul Niland with us tonight, businessman and journalist, founder of Lifeline Ukraine. That was it for tonight, but what a night, right? Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate that a lot. It was me, Henry Keane, and my team at UATV English. We bring hard truth in easy terms for the whole free world directly from Ukraine. Like, share, and comment. Your voice indeed matters as it helps Ukrainian voice to be heard globally. Stay safe and tune for more. Goodbye.